So the final 2.9 seconds, inbounded to Des Cambridge, launches from backcourt. He made it! He made it! He made it! Des Cambridge knocks down a three from backcourt, and the Sun Devils have won it! The Sun Devils have won it on a desperation three-pointer from Des Cambridge. Incredible!
Let's go!
Nothing but net from about 60 feet away for Des Cambridge. Oh my goodness!
That is Tim Healy with Kyle Dodd in the background. Welcome to State of the Sun Devils alongside Jesse Morrison and Jake Anderson. I'm Jeremy Schnell. The miracle at McHale is what they're calling it. I will say
that's what we're calling it.
That's what we're calling
right.
it. Yes.
Right. So I will say the shot was made in Tucson, but Desmond Cambridge Jr. took that from Tempe.
Yeah, that was from the Sparky logo at Desert Financial Arena for sure.
And it wasn't a bank. Like, it was pure.
Yeah.
Like, that's what made it so, like, oh my, like, it was just, I still can't believe they won that game. Like, they were down
it's unbelievable.
10. They were down by 10 in the second half.
10 points.
How many minutes did U of A go without scoring? 6.5?
So they scored. They didn't score a field goal. They hit free throws.
Right? Yeah.
So they went 6.5 minutes without scoring, and ASU went on a 16-5 run. So it got them back in the game, and then Pelle Larsson hit the two. Who was it? DJ Horn shot the three after the timeout, missed, and then Omar Ballo. And we were talking about this live. He misses the first one, and we're kind of like, you should miss the second one, right? And then, because TV is behind, we're watching on stat broadcast, and we're seeing it say that he missed or that he made the second free throw. And I say to Jeremy, like, maybe they can get a three off, but I still didn't think that they were going to be able to pull that out.
Here's the thing. Desmond Cambridge Jr. is like the most confident dude in the world when taking shots.
Yeah, dude, they got big coconuts.
And so I feel like he probably was like, yeah, I'm going to make this. And it went in.
Definitely.
And there you go. And it's the miracle at McHale. It's unbelievable.
And here we are now.
It's unbelievable. It's just like, I thought this game in the first half when I was watching it, I was like, oh man, U of A is just keeping pace with this ASU offensive attack that was unusually strong, as Jeremy drops a helmet there. An unusually strong ASU offense in the first half, and it was just like a battle of like 58% scoring or something like that. And then ASU does the thing in the second half where I was like, oh my gosh, here it goes. They did the offense that was just like, you've seen their offense trail off at the end of games. And it was looking like that again. At one point, they were shooting like 42% in the second half. But then U of A also went cold. And there you go. And ASU was just able to kind of hang around enough. And then they had some luck on their side.
Jake, and we were talking about this because I got to the office a little bit, like 5 minutes after halftime to watch the end of the game with you guys. And we were talking about this when I got in. When Tubelis picked up his third, I thought that ASU would just go right at him, right? And they did kind of in that little pick and roll situation with Washington, but it kind of made it so that Tubelis switched off. So I thought, if you keep going to Warren Washington on plays over and over again, Tubelis isn't going to want to pick up that fourth foul. It didn't end up mattering at the end of the game, but it's something that ASU can learn from in the future because they saw that they could get anything inside toward the end of the game once you get those two bigs into foul trouble.
I think the whole, construction of the offense is obviously tailored to the perimeter, and I think we saw a game with a big free throw disparity, right? And I think that's the exact point is they got most of their free throws. They finished with 10, but they got them at the end of the game. And they don't attack the basket, and obviously with Ballo and Tubelis, who are both freaks, like they're
both probably going to be in the NBA at this time next year.
100%.
Yes,
might be lottery picks, both of them.
But the fact that they were able to take advantage of that, and we were talking that we thought this was going to end up being like the last U of A game and like the UCLA game where the offense has a really good game, but it can't hold that level for a full 40. But they did it today. And we thought they were sputtering out at the end, right? Because there was U of A went on a 3-minute field goal-less streak, and ASU went on a 2-minute field goal-less streak within that span. Right. And we were saying, that was the opportunity where you can either take a lead and extend it or cut back. But I mean, 6.5 minutes without a field goal for U of A, like that's at home. Like that's on just like how upset we were about ASU's end of the Colorado game at home.
Yeah.
Like U of A should be just as pissed at themselves. Like you can't go 6.5 minutes without a field goal at home.
But in this situation, you can't say that U of A lost this game or ASU took this game away from U of A. It's kind of a mixture of both, right? Because like you can look at teams like U of A, they'll like shoot themselves in the foot at home sometimes and whatever. Like teams like that will lose games, not necessarily the other team comes and takes it. But I feel like it was kind of a mixture of both, where U of A shot themselves in the foot and ASU took advantage.
Statistically, this game was dead even. Like if you took away the
except
score,
for the free throws.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you take away the score and just look at the stats, like ASU was 54 to 51%, from 3, 39 to 42. And then from the free throw line, 60 to 68, assists are pretty even, 23 to 16. I mean, like you said, it was a back and forth, very exciting game from start to finish. And I'm just astounded not only that they won in the manner that they won, but when they were down 10, I thought that was it. I thought, this is UCLA all over again.
I just want to give Warren Washington some credit because down the stretch, he's a below 70% free throw shooter on the season. Warren Washington at the 3:15 mark down the stretch hit 2 big free throws after being fouled. Didn't miss one there on that sequence. And then he made a layup to give the Sun Devils 85. To give the Sun Devils 86, actually. Warren Washington, and he played with a lot of foul trouble and did not foul out in the game. So, Warren Washington, hats off to him. He played a really good game. You've got to contain the U of A bigs. I don't really think he necessarily did, but he didn't foul out, which is what you need. You need the size just to be there, at least in general.
Again, we are live here at our new podcast studio. Jake Anderson, Jesse Morrison, myself, Jeremy Schnell, for State of the Sun Devils reaction podcast to the miracle at McKale in Tucson. And Desmond Cambridge Jr. took that shot from Tempe and made it in Tucson. Again, here's the call from Tim Healy, and you can hear Kyle Dodd screaming in the background. Real quick, we'll play it one more time.
So the final 2.9 seconds, inbounded to Des Cambridge, launches from backcourt. Got it! He made it! He made it! He made it! Des Cambridge knocks down a 3 from backcourt, and the Sun Devils have won it! The Sun Devils have won it on a desperation three-pointer from Des Cambridge! Incredible!
Let's go!
Nothing but net from about 60 feet away for Des Cambridge. Oh my goodness!
Do you guys want to tell the story about how, we found out that he actually made it?
Jake did.
Okay, so
no, did you?
Yeah, we found out from
Lauren.
Yeah,
technically,
our coworker Lauren Koval.
Yeah,
told us.
Yeah, she's a producer.
She walks out and kind of nonchalantly says, he hit it from half court, and we're like, what?
The thing is so the television is like a good, 20 seconds behind.
Yeah,
that broadcast.
Here especially.
When we're watching the live stats that are being put in, at the game or Twitter, like on TweetDeck, you can see everything well before. So when Lauren came out, she said that before StatCast had it, before Twitter was freaking out. So it was just like, she must have just heard the call immediately,
right,
and just came and let us know.
It was
it was a good 30 seconds, 40 seconds before we saw it.
Before we saw that, I think it was Henderson made the free throw. Before we saw that pop up. Huh?
Ballo at the end.
No, because Ballo got hurt, and they put Henderson in to take the free throws.
Oh, Henderson was shooting?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep. No, Ballo was shooting.
No, because he came out. He was hurt, so Henderson had to take the free throws. It just says that, yeah.
Is that when ASU gets to choose then?
Yeah, and so they chose Henderson.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So that is what happened at the end of the game there. He missed the first, right?
Missed the first, made the second.
Right, and we were saying he should have missed the second.
You definitely try to miss the second.
You think so?
I think the first. I mean, the first is the first doesn't matter. If you make it, maybe try to make the second.
Just throw a baseball pass at the backboard.
Well, if it doesn't hit the rim,
Yeah, it
then
has to hit
it's-
the rim.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But anyway, like try to miss it, like getting a rebound and having to throw that thing to full court, like that's I mean, I'm not gonna say impossible anymore after today, but
Well, we've seen this range from Des before.
well, here's
Which game was it that he made the shot at before halftime? Was it the UCLA game? Because he
No.
made it from beyond half court, right?
No, it was. I can't.
think it was the UCLA
no,
game.
UCLA was a UCLA player. I would have to go back.
for
and
some
look.
reason I want to say San Francisco, but
It was not
No.
San
that
Francisco.
game was, no one hit a shot that game.
Yeah,
I don't think Des was playing.
he
at San
wasn't.
Francisco.
Yeah, he was out that game.
That's right.
Wasn't feeling well.
I'm on it. You guys talk.
Okay.
No, my question now is, obviously you play UCLA and you play USC now on Thursday and Saturday, respectively. Where are we at? None of us thought this game was going to end up in an ASU win. Where are we at now at least in our predictions of where this team is in terms of what needs to be done to get into the tournament? Obviously, if you win your conference tournament, you're in.
Yeah, for sure.
But assuming that doesn't happen in this prediction, what do they need to do against UCLA, USC, and whoever they may play in the first two rounds if they win or have a bye?
3 scenarios, in my opinion.
Okay.
First of which is they beat UCLA or they play well at UCLA and they beat USC, right? Or they beat beat UCLA, play well at USC, and then they go to the Pac-12 tournament and win a couple games. That's my first scenario. Second scenario, obviously, is winning the Pac-12.
I do need to preface, when you say win a couple games, does that mean that they have a bye and win two?
Yeah, I think
think
they're going to get a bye.
They're
yeah.
pretty much solidified with that now.
Well, that's my point with that is if they do have a bye and they're going to win 2 games, that means they have to beat U of A or UCLA again.
If they have a bye.
If they have a bye,
Right.
and
Yeah.
in order to win 2 games, because the 2 wins would get you to the final of the Pac-12 tournament.
Here's my scenario.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let
If they
me
have a bye.
finish mine first.
Okay,
Okay.
finish
Let me just restart here.
Okay.
One of 2 games next week, with the other one being a close contest. 2 wins in the Pac-12 tournament. That's one. Number 2 is you win out in the regular season. Pac-12 tournament doesn't matter. Number 3 is you win the Pac-12 tournament. Those are my 3 scenarios for how they get in.
Here's my scenario. Ready? They have to win 2 more games this season. I don't care how.
doable.
I don't know. I don't care where. If they win 2 more games this season, I think they're in. If they win one, in your scenario that they beat UCLA and lose close to USC, I don't think they even have to lose.
Or the other way around.
I don't. If they beat UCLA, I don't think they even have to lose close to USC. I think they're in if they even get blown out by USC after beating U of A and UCLA
Back to back.
back to back
On the road.
I think they're in.
Oh.
I think they're in.
What's funny is the
There's some bad losses,
matchup-wise,
though.
matchup-wise, like it's hard to say like, oh yeah, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, UCLA is not UCLA is a top 5 team in the country for a reason. We saw it, but matchup-wise, I don't think ASU matches up with USC well at all with their size. Like I understand they just beat a team who has size, but like how often is ASU able to produce like this offensively? And that's kind of been their Achilles heel all year, is it's not consistent offense.
Here's what they can't do. They can't lose both games next week. They can't do what they did in Tempe and then lose in the Pac-12 tournament and think that this win over U of A is going to get them in, because it's not over. This win was awesome, miracle at McHale, but it could all mean nothing if the rest of these games that they have remaining don't at least be, if they're like fights, then you maybe have a chance. Like if they lose both next week and then they lose in the Pac-12 tournament, but even then I think it's a stretch. They got to buckle down, and they got to win at least one of two next week, and they've got to be competitive in the other one.
I'm not saying bear down there. You got to hit buckle down.
Buckle down, yeah, of course, yeah. I'm not going to say bear down after that. But yeah, they've got work to do still. This isn't done. They're in the tournament. They just don't get overconfident. That's what I'm saying. Do not get overconfident.
Yeah.
We've seen this team have great wins before and then end up in the first four or like not even in the tournament. So it's just one of those things where they need to focus.
We talked to Bobby Hurley about this the other day when he was in this studio with us, Jake, about how most of the games this season outside of the Michigan game and a couple other non-conference games have been pretty close, right? Yeah. I mean, the USC game, like USC was basically winning the entire second half, and ASU came back in the final 2 minutes of the game. But
this adds to their with a 6-point or fewer game record, which is astounding.
But I think that help. Not only does it give them experience in close games, but it helps their case that they've been in almost every single game this year.
Yeah, it gives you experience of what needs to be done, how important each possession becomes at the end of a game when literally we saw how many lead changes in the last couple minutes. Like the fact that you've had games that you've both won and lost, right? Bobby told us in this room, like that was our first win in OT. And the fact that you get that experience, and again, going back to the coconuts, I think it's why they have confidence in themselves. Like, yeah. Like,
do you have that coconuts bite somewhere, Jesse?
I do not, unfortunately.
Des was 0 for 4 from 3. He ended up hitting just that 3. He hit threes before that as well.
Yeah, he hit a 3 before that, and then he hit that one.
Like, just because he's cold doesn't mean he can't hit it at the end, which is like shooter's gonna shoot, but it's astounding because it's just like you would think, oh my, I've missed all 4 of my threes when we were at the last game when we had the coconut quote, like they were 1 of 13 and then hit 2 threes back to back, and it's just like that's what they do, man.
Desmond Cambridge Jr., I have to say, he's the guy on this team.
Yes,
as we've said, he's him.
We said before the first U of A game, we said the way ASU wins this game. This was before the first U of A is if Desmond Cambridge Jr. plays well.
Yes, and he's the guy on ASU, but he's also the J.R. Smith of ASU, and you love J.R. Smith.
Yeah, that's not a bash against Des.
Yeah, J.R. Smith. He sometimes would take shots that you're like, but he could also drop 30, and so that's what Des can do for you.
I will say Des knew what the score was.
Yeah, that is true. He knew what the score was. He did know what the score was. He hasn't done that yet, so that separates him from J.R. Smith.
I was at that game. Fun fact.
You were at
what?
That? Wait, you were at the NBA Finals?
2018 Game 1, yeah.
Why?
Wait, hold on. Pause.
So
you've been to an NBA Finals game?
Yes.
You've been to one of the most famous NBA Finals games of all time.
Yes.
In a terrible series, by the way.
I mean,
I was at an NBA Finals game in a terrible series too. The Heat lost to the Spurs. I went to the 20-point blowout in Game 4.
I got a question.
The series where every game was a 20. Like there was one where every game was a blowout.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
It was probably the Cavs series in 07.
that was terrible. I have a question for you, Jake. Before we go back to ASU talk, LeBron's tantrum that he threw after that. How was that live?
Couldn't really tell, right?
I mean, granted, this is the NBA Finals, so I wasn't sitting the closest.
It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on camera.
I just remember full disclosure, I bet on the Warriors that game, so I was a Warriors fan. But the person behind me, when JR had the ball and was just dribbling, I literally vividly remember the voice of just, what the is he doing? And it was like, yeah. What are you doing? It's tied. Shoot it. Go. Score.
That series could have been completely different if he had made that.
That was the only time I saw KD in person. Can't wait to see him more.
Great. All right, ASU, so we don't lose our audience here.
Neal?
Dude. Without Austin Nunez, you had to have a performance like that from
Luther
Jemiah Neal.
Mohabed made a shot as well. He out of his slump a little bit.
Yeah, but Jemiah Neal was in double figures.
Right.
And I'm
made a couple corner threes.
I'm upset now that Devin fouled out and didn't get to double figures because we would be able to extend
9 points.
We would be able to extend the double figures Devin Cambridge streak, which I believe is at 13-0.
Not 14.
They got performances though out of their bench tonight.
Yeah.
You had Alonzo Gaffney did foul out, but he had he was 4 for 6 from the field, 10 points. You got Jemiah Neal,
Did
5.
he have 2 threes, Jesse?
He did. He had 2 threes. Jemiah also had 2 threes.
Correct.
They both, and it wasn't like they were out here 2 for 7, 2 for 8. You had Jemiah 2 for 5, 40% good. Alonzo 2 for 4, 50%. We've seen those guys be able to knock down threes. It's just not on a consistent basis. And tonight they did. They did exactly what they should have. And I just want to bring this back to the first game as well. In the first game, we said, oh man, if ASU had just made a couple more 3-pointers. And you look at this game, and both teams made 11 threes. And that is so big for this win. ASU has just not been that good of a 3-point shooting team. Actually, they've been one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country.
Not since we've been at this. Not since we've been following this school even.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, the guard year was pretty good from 3. But anyway.
Cody helped that, yeah.
Yeah, Cody Justice was great from 3 that year. Trey Holder was pretty good. Shannon was pretty good. Those 3 guys, they could shoot the 3. But yeah, this team this year has not been a good 3-point shooting team at all. And they come out on the road in Tucson and, hit 11 threes. That takes some coconuts.
Coconuts. Jake?
Does this team ride this momentum to do what Oregon State did last year? I don't want to
2 years ago.
Right, 2 years ago.
2021.
No. I don't
want to put
I can't say
cart
it.
before the horse, but
I can't say it.
You only have the 2 games left. You're literally playing the hardest teams in your conference now. So it's the best of the best that the Pac has to offer. Show if you're worthy.
You're coming off an emotional win.
That's very good point. The only thing so earlier when we were talking about the fact that U of A plays UCLA on Saturday, could UCLA overlook ASU as a trap game? But I don't know if necessarily that will be the mindset coming off of this game.
No, and
right? If ASU would have lost by 30 today, maybe they have a better chance to beat UCLA from a mental perspective.
I don't think Jaime Jaquez and Tiger Campbell have trap games anymore. Those guys have been playing college basketball since JJ Redick and Adam Morrison were going at it. So
JJ Redick, the best deep 2 shooter of all
Jesse,
time.
3-pointer for your life. JJ Redick or Larry Bird?
Oh, man, I gotta go. I gotta go JJ.
Oh wow!
Even though Bird's gonna be able to get open.
3-pointer for your
I don't
life,
know.
JJ Redick or Larry Bird?
Or
Desmond Cambridge Jr.
What type of 3?
Just any 3.
Yeah.
Corner 3.
But are we talking about when JJ Redick was in college, or are we talking about the NBA?
We're talking peak JJ Redick.
Okay, but you understand when he was in college, the 3-point line was closer than it is now.
Talking
Much
NBA
closer.
3.
Then I'm taking Bird.
Okay.
I would take Desmond Cambridge Jr. He made a half-court shot.
Down 2.
It was behind
2 seconds left.
By the way, that UCLA shot, Jesse, or that shot beyond half court for Des was against UCLA as well.
Okay.
At half, yeah. Before the half.
Okay. Anyway.
USC was the one who hit a shot at the half.
I just can't believe that this team is going to ride the wave just because we've never seen that happen, at least in the Bobby Hurley era. I think that, we've got to just start talking scenarios because, again, I think it's going to be close loss, win, maybe lose in their first Pac-12 tournament game. That's what I think we're looking at here, just based off of history. I hope they prove me wrong, but that's what I see. So you just got to start talking scenarios, looking at the net rankings, looking at Joey Brackets, even though I've had some issues with him this year.
Enough
with that guy.
All right, so look ahead real quick before we get out of here. Again, that game against UCLA is on Thursday at Pauley Pavilion, 7 p.m. You can listen to it on the Arizona Sports app. It's also on ESPN. And then Arizona State takes on USC. Again, both USC and ASU at the moment have 20 wins on the season. That game's on Saturday, 9 p.m. local time start.
Both games can also be heard on Arizona Sports 98.7.
Cool.
So I'm seeing from down in Tucson some photos from some of the media members, and we've got Bobby drenched. He obviously got the post locker room shower.
Was this his first win against Lloyd? Right? Was this his first win against Lloyd?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lloyd has won. I heard this on the broadcast. He has won before this game. Had won 88% of his games at Arizona.
Yeah, it's insane. He had 8 losses coming in.
Yeah,
it's insane.
I'm wondering if this is kind of the like if I'm and I know we're an ASU podcast, but if I'm U of A and I'm Tommy Lloyd, like I think this is a great loss. Like the time of it. Right before you
it's
get
like
into
a tournament game.
Yeah, it's you're beatable.
I think they've shown that though.
But I'm saying like as a coach, the way a coach would think.
Like if you're on your A game, and another team is on their A game, you can still lose, kind of thing.
Like
I know U of A.
Do you
went
remember
on
when Kentucky was undefeated and Calipari literally was like, "I'm praying we lose," because with every win you just get that much more. Right, and it's like
yeah, but they've had losses, some very bad losses this year.
Right, but it's not like they played well in those games. They played pretty good today.
Yeah,
both teams shot over 50%.
Yeah, but if you have a good loss, aren't you going to be like, I mean, I guess the player's mindset is still that
But here's the difference.
they lost, but
ASU is not trying to win a national championship. They're trying.
Who says that?
The reality.
If they're trying to, but they may not have enough.
But that's not their expectation. That's not their goal. Their goal is to make a tournament run. U of A's is to go to the Final Four. Anything short of a Final Four appearance is failure.
Yeah,
they have that.
Like there are, and that's my point. Is it's like they are much more serious about everything. Not that ASU isn't, but it's like you're trying to garner everything you can to get yourself into the dance. To whereas the team you just beat is trying to win the dance.
From following the Pac-12 this year and watching the two teams, I think that UCLA is not miles ahead of U of A, but I think that they're pretty far ahead of them. I just like their experience better. They've been to a Final Four. They're playing 7 players on U of A. So
how many you got to win it all? 7?
7 wins
in a row.
Unless
you're in the play-in, right?
32.
64. 32.
First 4. You're in if you're in the first 4.
So you have to win 6.
Yeah.
So you have to win 7 if you're one of the play-ins.
Yeah.
So you got to win 6 games in a row.
I don't think U of A can do that. I have way more faith in UCLA. I love their experience.
Yeah, I agree. And that's how I feel like about.
I like Mick Cronin as a coach too.
They obviously, because I don't know why I'm going to say this, but UNC is also kind of like UCLA in the way because they've had that experience. They have all those players coming back. UNC is not as like good record-wise this year as UCLA, but like those are the dangerous teams.
Not going to get into UNC. Just look it up.
Those are the dangerous teams, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like UCLA is really dangerous because they're good. Like they're not having a down season. They have a ton of experience.
Right.
And UNC is having a down season. There's some rumors of stuff. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but it's just that program seems to be a mess from the way outside looking in. So I'm not gonna say that UNC is UCLA right now.
I'm just saying the roster construction.
Sure, but yeah, there's
Anyway,
Kevin Durant out tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh, breaking news! We just broke news.
Yeah.
We broke news. Suns related. I know many of our listening or watching
Dwayne
audience.
Rankin. Let's do the job correctly.
Per who?
Per Dwayne Rankin.
Of the Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah.
Republic. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but here we are though. If you're
Breaking news.
also a Suns fan, which probably everybody watching or listening to this is.
We were talking about KD, so I thought it was pertinent.
Kenny Dillingham.
I love how we played that and it happened. Okay, real quick, what was more? What did you expect to happen more? Des to hit that shot or KD to come here?
KD. That was a miracle.
Both happened.
You know, it made up for. I can't remember what crappy mid-major ASU was playing, but like a few years ago, there was a half-court shot that went down and it won the game. It was like a 59-58 December game, and that made up for this. That made up for this.
Playing Jake.
It was like UC Santa Barbara or something. I think it was 2 years ago.
No, I think it was last year. It was like UC Santa Barbara or something.
It was like or UC Irvine.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, it was.
I don't recall.
Anyway,
But it makes up for that. The fans will know.
right before we get out of here, let's play this Tim Healy call with Kyle Dodd screaming in the background of Dez's shot.
So the final 2.9 seconds, inbounded to Des Cambridge, launches from backcourt. Got it! He made it! He made it! He made it! Des Cambridge knocks down a three from backcourt, and the Sun Devils have won it! The Sun Devils have won it on a desperation three-pointer from Des Cambridge! Incredible!
Let's go!
Nothing but net from about 60 feet away for Des Cambridge. Oh my goodness!
My favorite part of that is Kyle Dodd screaming in the background. It's like it literally sounds like he's on a roller coaster. It sounds like he is on like the best roller coaster that you've ever ridden before. Like, and Jeremy wouldn't relate because he's scared of them.
Make sure to go to @AZ Sports Devils on Twitter, where you probably are right now, and tweet at us and Kyle Dodd and tell us what he sounds like.
Yes, please do that.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Wrong answers only.
Yeah, sure. Wrong answers only. And then also, I did find it. It was UC Riverside.
Well, it was one of the UCs.
It was a UC or a Cal State something.
Before we get out of here, we might talk about this next week if we have time. But I want to get your guys' right now predictions on what happens the final two regular season games of the season. Jesse, go.
Man, you're going to ask me right now. This might change. Subject to change. They lose a close one to UCLA. They beat USC.
That's all I wanted. I just want the regular season.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen.
Do I have to pick who they beat? Can I just say split?
Okay, you can just say that. You don't know which one?
I would
Putting us on the spot, Jeremy.
That's fine. That's
can't.
what the podcast is for.
I can't see them. Like, I can't say out loud, yeah, they're gonna beat two of the top 7 teams in the country on the road in 4 days,
Right.
5 days. Like but they've been pretty damn good on the road in conference play.
Yeah.
They've had a bunch of neutral site wins too, but I don't know, man. Like USC is not as talented, but the matchup wise makes it where like the final score is probably going to be like 61-58.
Yeah.
Like, whereas the UCLA game could be just like today. But I don't, given the games we've already seen them play against U of A twice and UCLA, I don't know if they have the ability to keep up offensively like they did today. Like, they're going to have to do that again to beat UCLA.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't think this is a good tournament team, because I think they're one of those teams that they win they could win 2 out of every 3 games, which obviously doesn't get you.
It gets you to the Sweet 16, which is not that hard to get to.
But you could go one, like, theoretically though, you could go like win, loss, win, and in this case, you would be out.
If they do get in, they'll be an 11 seed, which probably means Dayton.
I don't. No. Wait a minute. If they
A play-in 11?
I don't know
In
if they're-
11.
Play in 11.
well, they're all the 11 seeds I believe are play-ins. Jeremy, I don't see them as a Dayton team. If they take care of business like I'm saying, I think they'll be like a 10 seed, maybe a 9.
No, they'll probably be an 11.
Okay.
They'll probably be an 11.
Okay. Whatever you say.
I just that's what I see.
Well, anyway, we will probably do some sort of show on Selection Sunday because
I think
now
it's Selection Monday now.
it's definitely Selection Sunday still.
Well, it's 16 days away, and today's a Saturday.
Yeah, it's Selection Sunday, Jeremy.
I don't know about all that.
Jeremy,
If it'd be 15
stop
days.
question.
I don't think so, Tim.
I don't think so.
I don't know. My thoughts.
For all you home improvement
Selection Sunday
fans
is
out
on
there.
March 12th.
Well, I'm wrong.
See, this is what I do here. Jeremy
but-
says something, I debunk him, and that's how this podcast
why
goes.
Did it say on CBS it was 16 days away?
I don't know. I just look at what it actually is.
Okay. Anyway, My thoughts.
Selection Monday. Come on.
USC, UCLA.
They don't even do. They used to do the women's tournament
Are you
on
ready? Are
Monday.
you
They
ready
don't
for
do
this?
the women's
Are you ready
tournament
for
on
this?
Monday.
I
They
think
they
they
do
win-
both on Sunday now.
I think they win both. On the road.
Boy,
I think this win propels them to win both those games on the road. I think it helps them. I think it showed that they can play with these big-time teams.
Jeremy A. Bayless.
And I think that they win. I think that they do it. And I think that makes it so that, if they win one in Pac-12 tournament play, they don't have to win a second.
Jeremy A. Bayless.
Anyway, my thoughts. That's going to do it for this edition of State of the Sun Devils. Thank you so much for watching on Twitter and listening on wherever you get your podcasts. For Jesse Morrison and Jake Anderson, I'm Jeremy Schnell. We'll talk to you later in the week.
Ciao.